Welcome viewers, today we are bringing a training on how to automate our school results using Excel. We are going to show you from the scratch how you can use Excel to automate your school result from the data entry to even the result. Is going to be an interesting and fascinating training. It's going to be in series. Today is going to be part 1 and others will follow. Do subscribe to our channel and also follow us in our social media handle which are displayed on the screen, and then so that you get notification as we bring this training to you. Before we go, we want you to see what we are trying to achieve. This is our Cityplus dossier platform where you can process your results. This is completely dynamic and it accepts only raw data. What I mean by raw data, student assessment, that is either continuous assessment or examination scores, and it will process it to a wonderful result that will be displayed, that you can print to your student without stress. Everything is completely dynamic. You can reach out to us in case you need a copy. Thank you. Even as we continue.
Okay, welcome. We have done some pre-setup here to help us fast forward because we have a lot to do, and that is why we are doing this pre-setup. Now I'm going to walk us around the pre-setup so that we can see how the thing is, and then we can continue and put the formulas where we want to put. Now this is we reserve this from C9 down to E whatsoever number, depending on the number of grade setup you have, is this, okay? Where we have a grade, a scores, a remark, and A is 90, distinction, B is B plus is 80, B very good, B is not 70, good, and C plus is 60, this, and so on and so forth. That's how you continue. We also have rows 6 and 8, rows 7 and 8 from G, column G down has been reserved, where we have from I to Q reserved for our grade. We are going to see why we are doing this. This is to make the work completely dynamic. You can change it to suit your own school, depending on what you people have, the scores of your school, and so on and so forth. Now here we are going to have the first CA, the second CA assignment, assignment, project, quiz, note taking. We are going to wrap this up. Note taking, exam, CA tutor, and tutor. Now what do? We are going to, this is going to be our header because this one will be hidden. As time goes on, we are going to hide this. Okay, that's how it's going to be. But let's put some formulas here. This point we're going to say equals to this, and we open brackets what this, and what we are going to use, there's something we put here, and this we lock it, and we close the bracket. Okay, close the bracket. Okay, so we have locked the other one, so we can autofill for it to duplicate for all. Okay, at this junction we are going to write now, CA total is equals to the sum of I8 to N8. Enter. Y exam is equals to the sum of O and P. Okay, so if we return this to 10, we have 100%. The data must be 100%. So whatsoever you are doing, you spread your some number, then the remaining is for exam. So okay, I like formatting. Let me press the days. Okay, that's okay. Now we are through with that. So at this point, this is going to be names. This is going to be kind of ID or serial number. Alright, now this entry point, I'm going to do it and stop at 50. So let me format it. Okay, the border, we choose a color. We'll use our brand color. Okay, now this one as well. We still format the cell. Let's choose something darker. Alright, okay. Alright, so what do we do next? Next is this name. Let us format the name. Actually, okay, let's format it. The fill is going to be fill effect. Okay, alright, we also have to put a border around it. Okay, okay, we are through with that. What we need to do next is to put some formulas. Now, since we know that this total, before then, let us format this. Format that one separately. Okay, alright, this one. Now, the reason why we are doing this banded row and column is so that we can easily trace our data, our entered data, okay? And the reason why we're also choosing different is so that we can know the if we are going to enter data. Data entry is this, while this one is our calculation point where our calculation will be done. Okay, before we start, let us put some formula. CA total. Now this is going to be sum equals to sum. What are we summing? From this to note taking, not exam. Take note, we are not adding exam to CA. Now we can do the same to the second one. What we are saying is we are summing from first CA to note taking, not exam. Exam is not included. So the next one is total. Total is going to be the summation of exam and CA total, and we are going to do that again, equals to summation of exam and CA total. Give us that. So we are going to fill, we drag it down. Okay, now that has been done. Don't worry, we are going to format this. So let us see, we put 3 here. Total is 3, we put 20 here. Okay, see here total is 3. Okay, if we put 1, 7, 6, 10, 5. Okay, plus 20. So we have 32 plus 20, that is 52. Alright, this works perfectly. Highest in class, we are going to write equals to max. We are looking for the maximum. And what is the range? You carefully select the range, that is the total. Select the range to the last range, it will give you the maximum. The range of your data set. If you have 100 students, you have to select 100. If you have 200, you have to select 200. For example, if we now put 20 here, you see, if we put 100, the maximum become 100. Okay, so I'm going to copy the formula. And paste. Okay, now what we also have to do is we have to block it. And how do we block it? Either we place a $sign, then shift and 4, or we press F4 once to place it. We are blocking. The essence of that is to block that data so that we can only move it won't be moved. Our range is fixed now. We can't move that range. Understand? Okay, our reference is from Q14 to Q50. So if we check this Q14 to Q50, the range remains the same, so I don't pull down. If you are familiar with Excel, you understand what I'm saying. Now our grade will be equals to, we are using if statement. If this total score is greater than 100, comma, we want to put error. We want it to notify us if we enter I have a sum that is more than 100, because the maximum should be 100. But why do we say 100? If our maximum is greater than this, what is our maximum score? Okay, it should be what? Error. Else, if we are using nested if that Q14 is greater than or equals to A, grade A, then greater than 90, greater than equals to 90, then our grade should be what? A. Else, if our reference cell is Q14 is greater than or equals to this, then our reference cell answer should be that. If Q14 is greater than or equals to this, then our answer should be what? B. If our Q14 is greater than or equals to 60, then our range should be what? This, and what? This, comma, if our Q14 is greater than or equals to 50, answer should be this. Else, if our Q14 greater than or equals to this, our answer should be this. else if Q14 is greater than or equals to this, answer should be this, else answer should be this. Right, enter. Okay, we have C here. All right, so we have a C because we have what 52, and if you check here, 50 and above is C. All right, okay, so it's working perfectly. So what we need to do is, because we want to field, we have to lock some things. First, we are going to lock this total. We are going to lock it. We don't want it to drop down by pressing F4. Now we are not locking Q14, we are locking these other ones except Q14, every other one except Q14. Okay, this is to make it every other one except Q14. We are locking both the movement horizontal and vertical, that is down and okay. Some of us that may not understand why we are doing is, if we drag it down, we want it to only drag this one to reference. You know, if you reference this, we want to now reference this one. So we reference this, we want to now reference this one. But this one should remain constant and this other one should remain constant. That is the essence of us blocking it, of blocking the movement. Okay, so what I need to do is to copy and paste the format. Okay, so I can autofill these two. You see, okay, we have it already. Now the next one is class average. I would have said we use average. Let's format these two. Okay, and then put border. This one will be okay number, while this will be summation. What do we put in number? We said equals to count. Okay, count if what are we counting? We are counting this particular place, the names. We want to use the total number of students to find the average. You know, the average is the total number, the summation of the scores divided by a total number. That's going to give us the average. So counting the number of students will help us so that we don't make any mistake. So this is what that contains what a text. If it is a text, we put asterisk and click enter. Now there is nothing there. If you put one here, if you put a letter there, if you put a number, it's not going to count. But if you put a letter, let's say E, is going to count. So that's why it's 2. Now the summation is equals to sum. What are we summing? We are summing what? The total, not CA total, the total score. So we are summing it to the n, right? Okay, we have this. So our average, our class average will be equals to what? The sum total number divided by the number of students. Enter. Okay, we have to, so the average is 80. So we are going to block this because we don't want it to, when we have to fill others, we don't want to track it to move the reference cell. So let me copy the format and paste, right? So I can directly autofill this. Okay, now before we get to subject position, let us do something here. We want to use this particular point to rank. We said equals to rank. We are using the function rank. What are we ranking? We are ranking what? this with respect to this range. If you look at it, let me come back. When you click on rank, what are we ranking? This number. We are ranking this number with respect to what? Reference or order. We are referencing what? That's in from that point down to what? The last one. Because we want to rank the position. We want to know what position is it, the highest or the lowest. So now this is the second. Now for us to autofill, we have to lock this range. We have to lock. Remember, there are certain things we have to lock in Excel. It's very, very sensitive. So we drag it down to where we have the last number that we make reference to. Now if you look at this, the first person is this. The highest score he has is 100. So if I should change this to 20, you see, this person now become the first. If I now put 100 here, the second person now become first. It's automatic. Now with that, we can impute our subject position by adding the suffix to it. Now I wouldn't want to waste much of my time. What I simply want to do is to get this formula. Maybe in our subsequent videos I will put the formula to us. I'll copy the formula. Okay, so I'm going to put this one here. A reference, we are going to change this reference from W to what? We are changing the reference from this W to X. So wherever we have W, we can change it directly to X at that point, or we can simply move this, transfer the range, and that's all. So this one is for second. So we can do the same, drag this one down. It gives us what? The same position. So what we simply need to do before we autofill, I need to put my format back. Okay, so I can drag it down. Now what does this mean? Something we have a okay, now we have the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. These other ones that has zeros, we've cleaned it up. Okay, now that is it. The next thing we have to do is remark. Let us enter remark. So this will be equals to, we are using if function. If we've used total, if this is equals to error, comma error, else if if this equals to, we are going to link it to this. What should be the answer? This. Now what we are saying is, if the score or the grade is A, it should be distinction. If it is B, it should be very good. If it is, sorry, if it is B plus, it should be very good. If it is B, it should be what? Good, and so on and so forth. So we have put the first one equals to the second condition for the second line. If what? S14 is equals to this, the answer should be what? This. Else if, remember we are using nested if S14 equals to this, comma this. Else if S14 equals to this, comma, this. Else if S14 equals to this, comma, this. Else if S14 equals to this, comma, this. Else if S14 equals this, comma, this. Else to, okay, should be equals to this because it's remark. Write another one here. Alright, we are good to go now. Everything is complete. But before then, we have to lock this. We have to lock so that when we drag down, we don't show this. Okay, so we are going to lock every other one except S14. So we place the cursor in front of each of those ones except S14, like we did previously. We are locking every other one except S14. Okay, if you lock S14, it's going to affect your results. The reason why we are doing this is we don't want to enter this one by one. Excel has a great tools that enable us to drag formulas down, copy formula down. And you ask me, why do I have to drag it down to fill just one? The reason is so that when I want to drag down, we select both so that our format in this way will go down. Okay, so let us put this 100 as a distinction first. You seen it? Now if we put 80 here, very good. We put 90 here. Okay, if we put 120, it shows error. Okay, now we are through with that. We are through with it. What we need to do, let me bring in some names here. Some names and ID. Okay, all right. So let us enter some values and see what's happening. We enter the first one, so let's say 10, 10, 5, 10, 10, 6, 70, 5, 10, 4, 7, 9, 6, 10. Okay, let's put 50. $40, right? Okay, if you check, we've entered the value, but what do you notice? We have about 2 errors here, and that error should be taken care of, and you see, even if with these it's still prone to error, but what do we do to mitigate those errors? And those errors can be handled if certain things are being placed. Now that will be in our next video. Make sure you like it, because we are going to clean up such that it's going to look like this. If you enter a value that is more than this, for example, this is 10 and everything is 10. If we now enter 11, for instance, it's flag red. If we enter 6 here, it shows red. If we enter 7 here, it shows because it's more than the maximum. Once you enter a number that is more than this maximum, it's going to flag up this for us. And if peradventure we enter 60 here, it's going to flag up, and if the total, the highest, is more than 100, it's going to give us this error. And at the end, we only have values available for those ranges we have names. If we enter this, it's going to show. So if we put 10, you see it shows. But when you put numbers, flag off. So it have to be a value. When you enter anything under, it's not showing until you enter names. So in our next video, we are going to show us how to handle it, format it this way, so that when you enter a value that is more, it will be less. All these errors and checks will now flag up. Imagine you are entering, you see, oh, what happened? Now draw your attention from, so the maximum is 10. Let me check what really happened. They are actually giving student 11, or they are actually giving 7. Okay, should be 5. Alright, did they actually score 60? The maximum is 50. Okay, let me change 45, everything will be okay. So thank you for your time.